Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And a very good morning to you. This is Newsline, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. Let me start this morning's program with an apology for yesterday's challenges that we've faced. We've addressed the issues and hopefully we will not have a repetition. Sorry and thank you for bearing with us. And this morning, continuing the coverage of presidential elections, we've got here a member of the SLPP, Mr. Chandima Weerakkudi, Member of Parliament. Very good morning to you, Mr. Weerakkudi.
Good morning, Faraz.
How are you? Did I say that right? SLFP and SLPP?
It's all the same.
It's all the same?
Yeah, it's all the same.
What's in the name then?
You can name it anything.
Right.
It's a winning party name.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll take your word for it. Yeah. Now then, how's the campaign trail doing?
Well, the campaign is doing extremely well.
Okay.
People are rallying around the candidate and people get to interact with our teams.
Okay.
And we are convincing people of our way forward.
Now then, how intense is the campaign? How many sort of meetings you have a day?
Well, we have about 5 or 6 large rallies across the country where the presidential candidate and the prime ministerial candidate participate together.
Are those meetings with the people of that area or are they being bussed in?
No, the people of the area.
Right.
Now, yesterday we had 4 meetings in Galle and 1 in Colombo.
Right.
So first meeting was in Nelua. Right. People of the Hinuduma electorate were invited for that. Mm-hmm. And then the next was in Baddegama, where the people of Baddegama electorate got together. And then it was in Ambalanguda,
right,
where Ambalanguda people got together. And then we went to Rathgama. And from there we went to Habradua.
Okay.
And from Habradua, the candidates came to Kaduela for another meeting. So
And what are you finding out from these meetings? What are the issues? Is there any one issue that has come up forth? What are the people saying?
Well, people want national security issues to be resolved first.
Okay.
People are very uncertain about what's happening in this country, especially about the security situation. And then the economy is damaged.
What are they saying about that? Are they complaining about the cost of living?
Absolutely. Cost of living, and the businesses have collapsed. People don't have employment. Industries, like the main industries like tourism has collapsed, and even the 2 industries that were doing well in this country, even towards the latter stages, were construction and tourism. Mm-hmm. Even both those industries have collapsed, and agriculture sector, especially export crops, mm-hmm, have really collapsed. Now the tea, the kilo of tea leaves,
yeah,
we could get, the planter could get about 100 rupees,
right,
during last government when the dollar was 130.
Right.
But now the dollar is almost 185. Mm. But the prices have dropped between 70 and 80.
Isn't that a global problem?
I mean, it can't be a global problem. Then what about cinnamon? Cinnamon, where the prices were worth approximately 3,000, has come down to 1,200.
Right.
And then the pepper prices,
yeah,
have dropped from 1,500 to 350. So this is due to the policy of this government.
What is policy? How do you relate policy to production?
This re-export, decision to re-export.
Right.
Sri Lanka. Now, Sri Lankan cinnamon,
yeah,
had its own price,
yeah,
due to its unique taste.
Yeah.
But certain people in this government started re-exporting. They used to bring cassia from various other countries.
Cassia is a sort of a cinnamon equivalent.
Yeah. then they used to re-export a Sri Lankan product. Say they did the same for pepper. They did the same for tea. They brought tea.
So
from
they haven't been protecting the
local industry.
okay.
And we gained a high price, rather higher price, due to our unique nature of our product. Now the export markets have lost confidence because a lot of such products that are not up to Sri Lankan expectation
Right.
has been.
So in short, these are alternatives, but they don't actually match the vibrancy or the appeal of the Sri Lankan product.
Absolutely. So as a result of that, the industry is suffering, and as a result of that, people suffer.
Right. So, and this issue of national security, how true is that, or is it something that your party is plugging because your candidate was the former Defence Secretary?
No, I mean, why should we? I mean, this is the Easter Sunday attack was the best example.
Right.
Now, for yesterday, it was 6 months.
Okay.
Nothing has been done, and the number of calls and information
Yeah.
that the IGP has received
Right.
is alarming. He has not taken action.
Right.
And now, as of now, the Defence Secretary and the IGP in this country
Yeah.
are in custody.
And on Newsline, we encourage you to send us your questions by SMS, please, to 0772 300 305. And of course, we are in conversation with Member of Parliament, Mr. Chandima Veerakody. So this national security is a real concern. Do the people realise that the former Defence Secretary and the acting, the IGP, Mr. Pujit Jayasundara, are both in remand as a result of the charges or allegations stemming from the attacks on the 21st of April? Is that something that common man says, oh yes, you know, this is it, they are
Responsible.
They're responsible
for their negligence. That's how people see it. At the same time, I mean, people now in our areas, tourism was booming.
Right.
Subsequent to this attack, we don't find tourist arrivals.
Right.
As a result of that, people find it difficult to find employment. And investors, a lot of investors who came to Sri Lanka backed out.
Okay. So the people are acutely aware. With these meetings that you're having, people are aware and they're talking to you about security.
Absolutely. Not only ordinary people, what about the business community? Business community at every level is suffering mainly due to these issues.
And you said yesterday, for example, that you were down south. In those areas, what are you hearing from the minorities?
Well, even minorities, they want protection.
Yeah. Well, they didn't get that under your government previously.
No, under
Pre-2015, they didn't get that.
There was only one incident. There was only one incident.
You can't say only one, because one is one too many.
No, only one incident that occurred in Beruwala.
Yeah.
But under this government, how many such incidents?
Beruwala is, I suppose, you are including Alutkam as well.
Yeah, that's the Beruwala. It took place in Beruwala, not in Alutgama.
Yeah.
So that there was only one incident.
Okay.
Whereas during the tenure of this government, there had been so many.
Did you all have a hand in that? I'm asking you a question.
I mean, you should not be even asking that question, because we are very much concerned about security, national security, and protecting minorities and the entire nation.
The reason I'm asking that is, you know, every time we approach an election, all of a sudden, you find people going on strike and all sorts of things. All kind of dark things are happening. It's almost like a dark force takes over.
No, now look at the inefficiency of this government and their protectionism of their favorites. Now, the same minister, when he was Minister of Ports, the Ports Authority went on strike, and stuff could not be unloaded for a long time.
So you're saying that this is not political, it's something else.
No, it is inefficiency of that particular minister. When he was Ports Minister, what happened?
But when...
listen to me.
Yes, okay.
Ports Authority went on strike, unloading was an issue, and there was a huge loss to the government due to the strikes in Ports Authority.
Right.
After he left, it's moving quietly.
Okay.
And then he was from there he was transferred to petroleum.
Okay.
Petroleum went on strike and people waiting till the ships came. Entire oil supply came to a standstill.
Right.
And then from there, he was put to transport.
Yeah.
And the trains went on strike.
Right.
So, I mean, the government should identify those who cannot handle, those who are incompetent, and give them the support.
Okay.
See, due to the conduct of one particular person,
Right.
due to the favoritism of this government, how has the economy suffered? So, it is mainly, I mean, you have to be able to handle a situation as a government and as a minister.
All right, so let's presuppose for a moment that your candidate will win. Let's just presuppose.
We will be definitely.
What is the issue? What do you have? What is your concrete plan of action?
Well, we have to give solution to immediate issues immediately. Now, for instance...
No, for example, I just want to say this to you. In your government, when the people protested, in one instance, at least in one instance, they were shot at.
Yeah. No,
I'm talking about Ratapaswala.
Yeah. This is, when...
They were shot.
Yeah.
For asking drinking water.
No, they were shot at by the forces. But we have to...
And your candidate was in charge of...
No, he was the secretary of civil servant.
Yes, yeah, of course.
But
we all know that he
was a civil servant.
He was very much in charge of the defence establishment.
Yes, the defence, I mean, as the secretary, there had been many even presently there is a defence secretary.
Yes, of course.
He's not a politician, he's not a military official.
No.
He has been he has left military
right, but
in 1991.
My point is this, when they protested, they were shot at.
Yeah.
Right? So in this government, you say that they're protesting, people are protesting, it's not politically motivated, it's actually people, it's because of the people's Vedana that they're protesting.
Absolutely, people...
So how will you be... So if it's your government and if people protest, are you... I think that's the real question.
No.
Are you going to shoot them again?
Even if it's our government, we have to... I mean, we are against shooting, we are against such conduct. We have learned lessons.
You've just beaten me to the question.
We have learned lessons.
You've learned lessons.
Yeah, so we are coming forward as a party that has learned lessons taught by the people. So we will not be allowing even the forces and the police to take to such decision, to take to such conduct. I mean, we have to tell the people that such incidents will not be repeated. But at the same time, we have to. I have to answer. Give the answer for your question. Economy, people are suffering. Now, we take the business community. Most of them have defaulted loans, and they are in the crib. I saw today. I was reading Daily Mirror. One person is sent to jail for 3 months for non-payment of loan. So likewise, people are suffering. So we have to immediately give relief to those who are suffering.
How? from where's the money coming from?
No, not. We have to, as the government must undertake responsibility. Last government, when the banks in entire world was collapsing, government in Sri Lanka could intervene and protect, protect a few banks.
Okay.
So you're the government when.
But what are your concrete plans to increase? I don't know about FDI. What about LDI, the local investments?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. First thing, we have to give them a solution for their loans defaults, and then you must give them facility to and confidence to invest. Now, if you look at the banking lending rates, now they are above 15%, 16%.
Yeah.
So I mean, who is the entrepreneur who can obtain a loan at 16% and run a business at a profit? During our time, it was less than 8%. So we have to address such issues. The government must undertake responsibility and give it a kickstart. Once the businesses start moving, we must implement our long-term plan. So this is a crisis situation in this country. Now for instance, take the plantation industry. The government has to find some way to give them the fertilizer subsidy, not for a long time, but to promote, inculcate farmers to take to farming.
I want to ask you, talking about issues, and thank you for all your questions. I'm taking one of them. The one person has taken issue in saying that the SLFP and the SLPP are not the same, and it was the SLPP apparently was, according to the opinion of this viewer, the SLPP was formed so that one family could take control, and shame on the SLFPers who are enabling that family. Respect to Kumar Welgaman. You can always be independent and not sell your soul. Some say RW will be there if SP comes. Then what about GR? Look at his lineup. This is the kind of questions. Another one. Thuggery at elections and disappearances.
Can I answer this question first?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, this is not a family. Now, Gotabaya Rajapaksa was not selected by a party or family.
Was elected by one man?
No, his
brother?
No, he was selected by the professionals in this country. You
didn't have an election.
I mean, there is
even a show of hands.
Yeah. It was a proposal
by President Moi in Kenya. He didn't make a line. He could have lined up.
No, he was not a party member. He was a civilian who was working together with professional groups like Elia Viatmaga.
Yeah.
Where after his retirement he was trying to find solution to the issues in Sri Lanka.
Is it that he was trying to find a solution, or that you all picked him because you all could sell the product?
No, I mean, finally when he emerged from the people, he was the best option that we had. So we chose him as the best option. And to tell you, we must have, what is the main issue in this country now? People don't have faith in the government. The government can't take decisions. Prime Minister says one thing, the President moves it to the other side. So as a result of
honestly, I think that the people, the biggest issue, and you've said it, was the national security and the cost of living.
Yeah.
So we want concrete proposals for that. When is your policy document out?
This Friday.
Right.
It will be released.
Right.
So, like I told you, people need a government in which people can have faith. So these two have proven themselves. In 2005, when Mahinda Rajapaksa president was elected, what did people want? They didn't ask for anything. They wanted peace. They wanted terrorism eradicated.
Now we want to play. Yeah. Well, now the people say that they want a level playing field. What proposals have you all got for that?
Now, the previous presidents and the military also wanted terrorism eradicated. But they couldn't do it because they couldn't find a proper combination. This combination worked together and they took decisions, they moved forward and they eradicated, eliminated terrorism. And then they together started developing cities. Even there was a significant development and improvement, as people can see. So at this time of the hour, what people want is a team, a president and a prime minister who can work together towards the betterment of this country without quarreling with each other, who can work together. So this is the best couple that we can find in this country for the country to be taken forward. Especially under this constitution, if there is a misunderstanding between the president and the prime minister, country will collapse, and we are going through that. So this combination is the best for the country and rest of the team.
And the people are believing you already, are they?
People have faith in two people who have already delivered. These two have already delivered. But at the same time, I must tell you, they need a team. The team, there will be a parliamentary election.
I have to say this thing because I hear the same story over and over again. And this aspect is it's almost forgotten. And it is this, that if Ranil Wickremesinghe didn't do whatever it is that he did, and broke up and took out the Karuna force out of the East, and therefore, in effect, amputated Prabhakaran's left arm and right leg, history would probably be different.
Well, I mean,
you have to acknowledge his role in that.
I don't say this one individual or a couple of them did everything. But the difficult part...
Karuna was the commander of the Eastern forces.
That's what I said. That's why I said every leader, every president, prime minister in this country genuinely wanted terrorism eradicated.
Right.
But they failed to do it because they could not implement to the satisfaction
another
of
question,
the people.
many questions. Thank you very much. Keep the questions coming. Has MR and GR assured you of giving your nomination to contest the future presidential, the parliamentary elections?
My concern is not my personal
career
opportunity. Path. As of now, what we want
but
is
are you telling me you've not had a discussion with them?
No, I mean they have. Certainly, I mean I don't have to have such discussion. I've been in politics for now over 30 years.
Okay.
I've been an elected member for 20 years.
Yeah.
I've been in parliament for almost 10, 12 years.
Right.
So there is no reason why I should not be accommodated.
Right.
I mean it's a very primitive question to ask.
Really? I think it's a valid question because everybody's doing this for to be in politics. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know.
I mean, if whoever thinks that I'm not worth of being
how do you feel?
given the candidature.
Can I ask you this? On the basis of the questions that we've got, on that basis, how do you feel playing second fiddle? You're a young man, you're a youthful man. You've got a big, time period ahead of you. So, how do you feel playing second fiddle to one family?
We don't play or work to a family. This is, I mean, ironic.
What about the N factor?
No. Whoever will be facing elections. None of these people have come on the national list.
Right.
There will be a parliamentary election in 3 or 4 months maximum. In 3 or 4 months maximum. So it is up to the people to decide to elect. As media, you can educate the public if they don't want a particular person. I mean, just because he has a relationship to another doesn't disqualify unless elected by the people.
Right.
Of course, he is nominated we are not in favor of such.
You're not?
We are not. We are not in favor of nominating.
Can you give me
people
one concrete matter that you're proposing and that you will do and are able to do? Like, let's take the agriculture section.
Now take agriculture sector, 1/3 of Sri Lankan population live on agriculture, but they are the poorest. Why is it? We have not had proper way forward. Now, for instance, every government, including our governments, what we have been doing had been allocating funds to develop culverts or develop agriculture roads, and we'll just say, okay, the money was allocated to give seeds, but the issue in this country in agriculture is productivity. We have not spent money on research and development, genetically improvement of seeds. This has not been looked into. Now, in countries where agriculture is doing well, there the productivity is very high. Like if you look at if you go to say Iran or to Palestine, Israel, there if you look at a apple tree, you get more apples than leaves. In Sri Lanka, if you look at a mango tree, you get outside here as well, you get only leaves. Because that is because we have not been able to improve genetically the plant. So that is where the solution lies. So we will be looking into such in order to give concrete solutions. We have identified issues. We are now looking into resolving those long term.
We've got a question here. I think it's probably, I haven't read them all yet, but still. Does Mr. Virat Kohli accept that the Rajapaksa government was a murderous government and people lived in fear, and the man behind all this was named Rajapaksa?
This is slander. You know, what was going on was eradication of terrorism.
So, hold on a minute.
But
just a minute, please.
Yeah.
Please, if I don't say this, I can't be a journalist.
Yeah.
So are you telling me that the attack on the MBC, Maharaja Main Control Centre in the Parliament, and the killing of Lasantha Wickramatunge, Wasim Tajuddin, the disappearance of Prageetha Ekneligoda, all these were what?
Well, now
dreams.
Not dreams. There are cases pending. Now this government, when this government came into power, what they said was these will be dealt with.
Okay,
but
so they haven't been dealt with. Are you all going to deal with it?
No, certainly. We are not going to interfere into any of these.
Well, even Tajuddin's matter.
No, whether it's whoever's, if it's a matter pending before a court of law, no government in the future will be able to interfere into those.
Are you going to say, oh, well, you know, they had 4.5 years, they didn't do anything about it, and we are not going to do jack about it either?
No. Now look at what this government did. They politicized the system. You would have read the interview given by former Solicitor General Suwada Gamlat. The Attorney General's department is a department with quasi-judicial function. And the members of the Attorney General's department, together with the Bribery Commission Director General, which is an independent body, were summoned before the Prime Minister, meetings chaired by the Prime Minister, represented by UNP JVP members, together with other officials, and they were given instructions by the ministers. I mean, that is not possible in this country. So it politicized. Then they were told, the Attorney General's department was told.
You're saying this with authority, are you?
Yes, it was.
On your head be it.
No,
Carry on.
You look at the interview given by Suwada Gamlat. It was on paper. So they were told, do this, do that. I mean, this type of thing has never happened. Attorney General's department has been there for 165 years.
The Chief Justice was changed outside of due process in your government.
That is wrong. And when this government came into power, Chief Justice was thrown out of his seat without following any procedure. But during our government, the procedure set out in the Constitution was to have an inquiry by the Parliament. That process was followed. But whereas in the case of this government, no sooner that they came, they chased the Chief Justice of this country out.
There's a viewer who probably was an erstwhile fan of yours, because this morning this viewer is saying that you appeared to have sold yourself to the Rajapaksas.
I have not sold myself to anyone. My independent opinion is what I value a lot. I have always been raising my voice independently, and this is, I'm not trying to cover up anyone.
Okay.
I mean, what I said was wrong. This politicizing Attorney General's Department and the Bribery Commission, is it wrong? And cases, we are not going to interfere, but look at the cases that they identified, the cases that have been concluded. There were 2 cases filed against Johnston Fernando. Those matters are concluded and he was discharged. Another matter was filed against Gamini Senarat and a few others. In that matter also he was discharged. So these are the matters that have been concluded.
So
in
none
of these, they have been convicted. So what I'm telling you is, I mean, when you look at it, it appears that
they were discharged.
Yeah. So
which means that the door's been left open to recharge.
Yeah, so they can, why don't they do
There were technicalities.
No, not technicalities. Not technicalities. Then
otherwise you'll be acquitted. There's a difference between discharge and acquittal.
They have been. So then the Attorney General, now in certain other cases, Attorney General now take Pujit Jayasundara's bail matter.
Yeah.
Attorney General went up in appeal.
Right.
So in this instance also, if they see that there is something reasonable, Attorney General certainly, as an independent Attorney General, would have gone up in appeal.
Well,
it didn't go. These most of these cases are filed even without consulting the Attorney General.
How can you do that?
That is what we hear of now. That is how these cases have failed. Because
surely,
these are, I mean, you should not be looking at things politically. You must let the systems function.
And this is something that your party is committed to, at least now. Is that what you said?
Absolutely. No, we will, when we come to power, we are, as legal professionals, as people who have got elected, who, when we come to power, we want the systems to run effectively, uninterruptedly, without any interference.
Splendid.
That is what people expect.
Thank you very much. And we've come to the end of our program this morning. But Chani Mavirkuli, it's been most interesting listening to you. I hope that you come back and give us a further update on how the people are reacting to your policies or your promises. Thank you very much. And that's the way it was on Newsline this morning. Take care. Have a wonderful day ahead of you. And of course, God bless.
Thank you very much.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.